Hi guys, and welcome to this edition of Phyrefli's Video Digest. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a while since I last did one of these, and as you can tell there's been a few changes. The biggest change that's happened though is the release of the Battlefield 1 closed alpha. I had the opportunity of playing it for several days. Unfortunately I couldn't play it for the whole alpha because I was travelling at the start of it, and I have to say I enjoyed it very much. If you've read my website, you'll see there's a couple of posts up on there that indicate just how much fun I had. Now, I really only have one metric for whether or not I think a game is worth my time, and that is, am I enjoying it? If it's fun, it's worth looking at in more depth and considering buying. If it's not fun, then why would you want to buy it and play it? With Battlefield 1 Closed Alpha, I had a lot of fun. Now I have to be clear on something. It's not a reimagining or a bringing back of those core fundamentals that DICE lost when they moved from the older series, so 1942, Battlefield 2, 2142, Vietnam, etc., across to the new series. It is an evolution and to a certain degree a revolution on the Battlefield 3-4 formula, but it's not a bringing back of what DICE lost. Please be clear on that. I enjoyed it for several reasons. First of all, they've changed a whole lot of stuff. I've not found a single lock-on weapon. There's no flashy UI. It doesn't feel like complete sensory overload all the time. And to a certain degree, it feels like skill has been brought back into the game. If you hit someone, it's because you've aimed and shot, not because you've just simply gone, aimed in the rough direction, got a target lock and hit the left mouse button. So those are some of the reasons why I enjoyed it. Now, they have added additional mechanics. So, for example, if you've seen the tank video I released a few days ago, you'll see some of the things they've been doing with tanks. If you're looking at the footage right now, you'll see that they've introduced kind of a parkour system. It feels like it may have been brought from Mirror's Edge. It's that kind of being able to run over things, to jump over things, to run along things. It's much more advanced than what's in Battlefield 4. It's also much more intuitive and much more fun, and you don't feel like you're losing control of your character quite as much. Now, there is also the change to the way the conquest dynamic works, and they have made significant changes to that. It's much simpler, which in some ways is good, in some ways is not so good. But what I would urge is, if you're looking at mechanics, especially the big changes, for example, with conquest, don't look at them in isolation, look at them as a whole. Yes, the conquest mechanic itself is much simpler, but does it fit in well with all the other changes and all the other additions that they've made? For one change here, there's a change somewhere else. So look at Battlefield 1 and its changes holistically as a whole game, not just pick an individual change and say, no, I don't like that, so all the 50 other changes that they've made, they don't matter. Try to look at it as a complete game, and this actually harks back to what I mentioned in a blog post, which is, if you're looking at Battlefield 1, please understand that the original values that were in Battlefield 2, 1942, they're not coming back. DICE aren't going to bring them back. It's been too long. They've made too much money. Whatever the reason, they're not coming back. So try to look at Battlefield 1 as a game which is on its own. Imagine it's not even a Battlefield series. Imagine it's just a game you're looking at when the beta comes out and you're saying, do I like this, yes or no? And look at it from that point of view, because I think that will help enormously, and that will allow you to make your personal valid opinion on this game instead of listening to what other people may be saying. So that kind of brings me around to, have I bought Battlefield 1? The answer to that is no. Do I think you should buy Battlefield 1? The answer to that is no. And the answer to that is simply no, because we haven't played the beta yet. For example, with Battlefield 3, there was quite a significant difference between the closed alpha and also the public beta that they did. I want to see what this public beta is like, because that will be almost 99% what we're going to be playing when Battlefield 1 comes out. That is my test. The closed alpha was a lot of fun. It was a fantastic first step. DICE did a lot of good things. They did some work during the alpha to make the client a lot better as well. They started playing with a Battlefield type map instead of something like Operation Metro, which I think was a huge mistake for Battlefield 3, for example. But I'm waiting to play the beta before I make a final decision on whether or not to play the game. And if you play the beta, all that I say is look at it with open eyes, see if you're enjoying this game for what it is as a game, and make your decision whether or not to buy it based on that. So basically, give it a chance. So that's it for this a little bit truncated Fireflies video digest. I'd look forward very much to any feedback that you may have and anything that you'd like me to talk about. As always, enjoy your gaming. Take care.